Howdy, friends and floorheads. It's a Monday night, and it's time to play a bunch of teenagers trying to make it through all the hardships and issues and obligations that we have growing up and trying to start a band. McBluff, what are you doing up? It is way too late in the UK for you to be awake and watching, but it's good to see you. And as you can notice, and I'm in the lower right-hand corner, in the upper left-hand corner is our GM, better known as the booking agent, Derek. Welcome us to session 3.
Hello, welcome everyone. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Great.
Yay.
Are we ready to continue exploring these cool musical teenagers that we've been learning about?
Yes.
Awesome. Does anybody want to give a quick recap of what we did last week? Because I did a recap last time, so I'll give someone else an opportunity.
We did our first performance.
Yeah.
And we really got to see kind of the neat mechanics behind that performance. But in the fiction, we had a little bit of drama before we went live. We had some challenges as we were playing. But after all is said and done, I think we kicked some ass. And it was a good first performance of first things first. That was my takeaway.
I think that seems fair to me. You guys got something out of that performance, right?
We did.
You won. You won the Battle of the Bands.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, not really a Battle of the Bands. It's more of an audition. But auditioning for, does anybody remember that?
And so the Battle of Bands, this gives us so now we get a chance to play in the Battle of the Bands. Is that how this is working?
No. So the way that it is we're kicking off a week-long celebration for the town's anniversary.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the week, there's a big actual concert happening, and you guys get to open for it. So you get to open for a real band. Not that you're not a real band, but you know, a band that's like professional and stuff. So that'll be a good opportunity for you guys to continue to make a name for yourselves.
Judging by our backstage antics, we've probably already made a name for ourselves before we even won this darn thing. So,
someone's backstage antics. Yeah. Do you want to share some more about that, Timothy?
I was interested in getting the crowd riled up so that all attention would be on us because we were the first band on. So historically, I know from watching things like American Idol that the person who goes on first has a much bit more difficult time than the people who go on later. So I wanted to make sure that the crowd remembered us. So I made a point of putting a spotlight on us via Lizzie, whether she liked it or not.
She did not.
Oh, I'm sure it was fine. Built character. Literally.
Yeah. So, I think Lizzie didn't like that. But then by the end of the performance, I remember Lizzie seemed to actually kind of be getting into it.
She crushed it.
Yeah.
The limelight is a powerful thing. It's intoxicating. So yeah, that was my hope that some of that attention would eventually give us a boost, both in our performance and the way that we feel about the band. So
I'm okay with everybody else, just not just me.
Awesome. And then there was a little bit of a revelation that happened about who the runner-up was. Does anybody remember? That was the probably going to be a little bit of a rivalry going on there. So this was another band from your high school that's kind of gotten the popular support via the jocks and the cheerleaders and whatnot.
You're so lame.
Yeah. So that I introduced that just to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit here. I introduced that as one of the complications that happened because of one of your of the failed roles that kind of piled up during the performance, which was called noise. So that's one of your complications from that blast of noise. But you had 2 of those. We didn't get to the second one last time. So we'll probably jump into that pretty quickly here. I'll bring that up. But before we do that, I think it's probably worthwhile. We've talked about this a little bit before we actually came alive, but it's probably worthwhile to talk a little bit about the issues that we have, at least the ones we have obligations marked on. So can we start that in some order?
Yeah, I'll start with my obligation. So I've got only one marked, and it's marked in a new issue, which is related to I am unable to live in the moment. And I spend too much time thinking about what happened or what could happen to enjoy my life.
And that's interfering with your performance in the band, right? That's
Correct.
That,
Yeah, it's preventing me from being as good a bass player as I could be, as good a live performer as I could be.
Probably as good of a just general bandmate as you could be.
Yeah, but like a friend and everything. I'm just way too in my head.
Yep. Cool. So that's a good obligation that we'll be able to explore. You'll be able to explore how Jake gets past that. It'll be interesting to see how that becomes apparent to the rest of the band, if and when it does, so that they actually challenge you on it, because I think that'll make a really good character arc if it happens, if that's the way things go. How about Robert? Did you say you had? I believe you had an obligation on an issue.
Yeah, I actually have 3 obligations. So
Okay.
Well, 2 of them are kind of similar. So one is detention for myself, and the other one is detention for the group, because we all were involved when we were leaving the school. And then the other one is with kind of Lily and Jake, I guess. So when we were talking about, well, I guess mostly Jake, he didn't come to me for advice. I'm usually the one that people come to help solve the situations that are going on in the group. So I have unresolved feelings that, he's going to her, and, she's, kind of helping him out.
Okay. And I can see how obviously that can cause some issues with you within the band because of that. That's good. That's good stuff there. How about Lizzie?
I have one obligation. It's from before everything, though, and it ties in with wanting Jake to understand my perspective on music, and that's taking every opportunity to bring Jake into my little musical world and try to get him to love it as much as I do, in the same way that I do.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a great one. And I know I don't think you guys did this on purpose, but I love the way that those 2 fight each other. They both point at each other, and they're going to continue to cause a little bit of strife with each other. So that'll be interesting. And Jake, you get to be at the middle of that. So
Yay!
that will be fun. All right. And then lastly, Timothy, do you have any marked obligations? I believe you do.
I do. I have 2 marked obligations. One of them on the issue we just talked about a few minutes ago. Lizzie is overall uncomfortable with my antics, and I am doing everything I can to drag her into my own personal drama vortex. So I think I was pretty successful at that right before our performance last session. The other issue, the other issue that is starting to ramp up is with regards to my buddy Christopher, who has been bothering me to be associated with the band, and that's starting to escalate because, he ended up being my easiest method of getting me to this performance, and I probably owe him a little bit of payback for that, which is annoying me. And I imagine the more that this sort of thing goes on, and the more that he attaches himself to me, the more he's going to attach himself to the band, and that will make things spiral sooner rather than later, and probably not spiral in a good direction.
Luckily for him, at least in the short term, is the rest of the band doesn't seem to be annoyed with him like you are. So,
yeah, give it time, guys. Give it time. If only you knew what I knew.
We love him. It's our mascot.
Excellent. That's good stuff. So again, the reason I wanted to focus on those, or to kind of just put those in everybody's mind, is because one of the things that you're probably going to want to spend some of your scenes on is either clearing those obligations or potentially gaining more obligations against issues so that they can be challenged. Because once you have 2 obligations on an issue, it becomes like a problem that the band sees, right? And then the rest of the band can get together and decide, like, we see this problem, it's screwing up the band, you need to fix it. And then if you clear those obligations, you can resolve that issue, and then you get an advancement. So that's the way advancement works in this game. So it's about leaning into those ways that your character can grow and seeing how that all works out. So that's one of the things that you may want to focus your scenes on. The other things, obviously, that you want to focus your scenes on is gaining flair or reputation for the band, or increasing your own loyalty so that you can prepare yourself to have those really good dice by the time the next performance comes around. And then, you may just want to set scenes to mess with other people's obligations and issues and things like that, and poke the bear a little bit, because we're all here to see it be fun, right? Like, we're all kind of writers in the writer room for these characters, and you're the chief person for your character. Nobody else obviously is going to tell you how your character thinks or acts, but if everybody thinks it'd be cool to explore something and you're cool with it, like, they can push something for your character so don't feel like you can only see your part of the story. If you want to see some of someone else's story, we can make that happen. Let's see. So that said, we get you guys get 8 scenes before I get a scene. So you can kind of split those up however you want. I mean, like I said before in the prior episodes, you each basically get 2 scenes, but they don't, strictly speaking, belong to you. For those of you familiar with a game like Blades, and you think about like the coin that the crew has, you guys decide how you want to spend it. It doesn't necessarily belong to evenly. So your scenes can be spent again in those ways, and you'll want to set a scene with the general goal of like what you're attacking, and kind of we'll set up who's there and that kind of thing. So there's no like limit that you guys can all be there. It can be you versus you and just NPCs, whatever you guys want to do, whatever makes sense. So go ahead and start thinking about what kind of scenes you might want to see. And then I'll go ahead and share with you this last blast of noise that kind of came from the performance. So, like I said, you guys made a big splash, and there was another band. This rival band of yours was there, and people have their cell phones. They're tweeting or Instagramming or TikToking or whatever they do these days, sharing things on social media.
MySpace.
Okay, Grandma.
Angel
Insta space.
Yeah. And other students are seeing it, and word gets around pretty quickly that back to the assistant principal, and he connects that Fabian is there and wins, and that Jake is there and wins, and that he never got a photograph from Jake about the supposed fire alarm puller. So this is all kind of happening off screen. You're depending on how far in the future you want to skip into before the first scene. You probably haven't heard about it in the fiction yet, but just to let you guys know, as players, he's going to come back after Jake for his part he thinks you pulled the fire alarm so that you could get your bandmate out and just get out of trouble, get him out so that you could get to this band thing. He's gunning for you.
Do we remember who actually pulled it? Was it me that pulled it?
It was me that pulled it.
That's what I thought. All right. I'm a patsy.
He doesn't know that.
That's right. I
mean,
don't know that. That's right. Jake doesn't know that.
Oh, Jake probably knows. I don't think the principal knows.
Okay. Gotcha.
For now.
So that's going on. Probably parents are being called. Yeah. So that's coming down the pike at some point. So who's got an idea? And feel free to workshop it. I mean, again, it's a little bit right.
So, I'm kind of thinking something here. Kind of thinking of questioning loyalty to Jake and affecting the prioritization of the band, which is associated with his not being present because he's so busy being present. So having a conversation about that, and then depending how that goes, that might actually hit that obligation by 1 point also, because now it's putting it directly in his mind that there's an issue there.
So you're saying you want to kind of build
I guess question loyalty. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
you can't challenge an issue unless they have two obligations in it, correct?
Correct. That's at what point they can be challenged. So
you can
definitely.
I'm sorry, because I was thinking if that did raise that, then that could be something down the road. But go
Exactly.
ahead, sorry.
100%. So we can go into that scene with the intent for with your character intending to question loyalty, and then if the fiction spins in a way and you're like, no, I don't think he'll do that now, you can switch it to build loyalty or something else. But yeah, I think that's a good intent to go into the scene with. So where do you see this happening? Like just you and him, the whole band? Do you want to do it in front of everybody? Do you want to do it, like what do you see happening?
Yeah, I think we took the car here. I think it's when we're taking the car back.
Like when you're heading back from the show?
From here, yeah.
Okay. So just all four of you are there.
Right.
Does everybody ride back, or does Timothy get a ride with Christopher?
I thought I was with everybody, but I could be wrong. I could be misremembering.
No, that sounds right.
Yeah, I thought we were all in the vehicle together.
I can drop everybody off.
Oh, I didn't even think we got to the point where we got in a vehicle. So it's totally up to you.
Right. Yeah, it's just what we're thinking about.
I don't know why I had that in my mind, but whatever.
I
definitely
solo with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. I was just gonna say I definitely don't want to be with Christopher, so I would have no problem being with the rest of the band at this point, especially to celebrate our good fortune for winning.
Excellent. So that said, what do you guys collectively think you're gonna do right after this big win? Are you just heading back to wherever you store your gear and everybody's going home, or are you gonna go celebrate? Or are you gonna go hit up an all-night diner or something? Or
a diner sounds delicious.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
We may or may not get there. I just want to know what you guys are into, right? Like, I just need to know what kind of kids you are.
We're going to Denny's.
Awesome. So we can kind of jump right in there. It's Lizzie's car. Typically, you guys tool around when you're doing band stuff, I think, with the four of you. So where does everybody normally sit?
Oh, I'm shotgun.
Is it like full-time shotgun? You called it?
Right.
Yeah, all-time shotgun way back.
I'm the only one that cares, so I'm always the first one to call it.
I'm never in the middle in the back seat if that's the case. So I always have a window
It's just the two of you in the back seat.
Yeah, it's probably usually just the two of you. So unless Christopher tags along.
He's got his own car.
Yes.
Indeed. Cool. That's all I need to know is what you said there, Craig, is Jake cares and the other two. All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you please go ahead,
I was
please.
gonna say I'm more concerned about the equipment than I am with where I sit.
Until I go,
Priority.
I invited Christopher.
Ugh.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, like let's kick it off. You guys are in the car, and go ahead. Let's set the scene. You're driving.
Wow, man, that we did pretty darn good.
It was so good.
I think we all it all came together. It was a little rocky at the beginning, but I think you set the rhythm. Lizzie, you got out of your shell. Timothy, your experience showed. I mean, for crying out loud, we won.
We did.
Nothing more savorful than beating them jocks anyway, right?
For sure.
All the crap they talked. But I think we could do better, though.
Oh, sure.
And not just in the band, but sometimes out of the band, Jake. I'm just a little concerned because it seems like you're not really in the moment. You're not thinking about what's going on. You seem kind of somewhere else.
And there's I think maybe I was messing with my phone, right? And I kind of put the phone down, kind of shift a little bit. What do you mean, Fabian?
It just seems sometimes you're just thinking so much, you're not really here. You're worried about, I don't know, it just kind of seems like you're either discussing something in the future or something in the past.
Well, I mean, what's coming up and stuff is important, right? I was the only one that even brought up a playlist, and I mean, I'm just doing that because I don't want to just play in Lizzie's garage for forever. I want us to be on stage more, and Fabian, I think the only way that can happen is if one of us is thinking about tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah, I get that, and I appreciate that. The thing thinking about now what needs to be done right this second, and I just don't want to have that really interfere in the future and maybe cause a problem down the road. Like we won't see something coming now because you're, preoccupied with other things.
Are you mad about me coming in a half beat late?
Mad? I would not say mad, but that's an
No one's
example.
mad about that.
Coming in a half beat late seems to be the least of the problems right now.
Right.
What are the
Well,
other
we agreed on
problems?
something.
What do you mean what are least of our problems? Timothy, what do you mean?
Look, it's cool that we did great and we won this thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm really happy about that. But as he's saying, there's kind of some issues here that if we don't get addressed are probably going to start to cause us more difficulties as we play harder and harder gigs. I mean, this is puppy stuff right now. So, yeah. Kind of got to get it together, and any mistakes, we have to excise this stuff. That's what it comes down to. So, I don't know. I kind of sit back a bit and
especially
look at the ceiling.
If we don't want to stay in Lizzie's garage, you got to remember things are going to become more and more important, and we really have to focus. I guess that's what I was getting at is a focus. We all need to make sure we're focused. And as always, if anybody has any problems or an issue or a concern, you guys know you could come to me. We could figure it out.
What if I? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I think we're getting really close to that change trigger. But go ahead with your response.
I was just gonna say.
I want to say something.
I mean, Fabian, if you want, man, after school tomorrow, I can come by your house and we can practice and making sure that I'm feeling the groove, that you're laying down and my timing's right and stuff. I mean, I'm all for
we
practicing.
had plans tomorrow.
Oh God, did we?
Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
Well, nothing really special. We were just gonna hang out.
Oh, well, I mean, you can come too.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, when are we going to start practicing and getting what we need to get done for the opening that we're going to be doing? I mean, that's just right around the corner.
Okay,
I'm always
there he is.
practicing.
I think that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's the trigger right there. You didn't say it in so many words, but it's perfect because ultimately what you're saying is the priority right now is the next gig. It's the next thing for the band, not this other stuff. So you're telling him that you don't think he's prioritizing the band. So let's go ahead and see that question loyalty roll. So for everyone at home, it's plus loyal, or with your loyal stat. Big reminder for everyone: everything's upside down. So, so smaller numbers are better.
He'll be back. Keep going.
Yep. So,
If possible, I'd like to collaborate on that role.
okay.
Gang up on me already.
I was fictionally, so I might as well mechanically as well.
Yeah, you might as well.
We're gonna have issues. Hang up on my
Why
phone.
limit my pushing of buttons to just one? of the cast members?
Oh boy, let's give him a half second. And maybe we can
no worries.
we'll do the next scene and then come back to it. Sounded like Timothy, you had a scene. We can cut to your scene, and when Fabian comes back, we'll resolve his.
I was interested, so it may work a little better, or to do it later. Is I really wanted to start to explore the issue with my parents, so I wanted to fast forward at some point to when I was coming home, in order to be able to most likely run into my dad, whether it's that night or the next morning, and see what he thinks about this.
Sure.
Because regardless of the face that I'm putting on for you, I am genuinely pleased with what happened. And I want to be able to share that in the hopes that it can pivot the way that he's thinking about me and my dedication to things. So that's what I'd like one of my scenes to be about.
Yeah, and what for me, one of my scenes is going to be when I get home as well. So
Yeah,
Amy,
same. It might be a good idea for all of us to have an arriving home scene.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't want to get too crazy jumping forward and backwards in time. It's not
Yeah.
travel show or anything that we're watching here, but
we are.
Cool.
there we go.
All right. Hello. Okay.
Hey, let me finish my thought.
Not just me.
We finished the whole game while you were gone. It's no problem, though.
Sorry.
You won.
We won. Yay.
I was going to finish my thought, what I was telling you
Yeah.
now, and then we'll come back to your scene. It's just that we've now set up fictionally that you guys are going to play this next show. That doesn't necessarily have to be the next performance we do.
Got it.
Like, it could 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month could go by before the next performance that we do on screen. And that one, I mean, that's still going to happen. It'll be, it could be this off-screen thing, and we just kind of hear, about it, whatever. So it doesn't have to be that we have to fit all of these scenes into one fictional week at all. In fact, it's probably better if we don't. So
that makes sense. All right. So we were going to do a roll, it sounded like.
Yeah, so I'm rolling 2d6. I'm going to apply my loyalty modifier, correct?
Your loyalty, yep. Your loyal stat. Which is what?
It is 3. So 2d6 minus 3 is a 3.
And I am collaborating as well.
Yeah, I think you may have popped out, but he wanted to collaborate. So
yeah, when we started talking about the role, that's when everything went wacky for me. So
yeah, no worries. Cool. So collaborate. You add a die of your loyalty type to his pool, so you can probably just go ahead and roll that.
Just roll 1d8.
Yep.
Ready? Good deal.
I'm watching.
Let's see. The wrong button. There we go.
And you rolled better than a 5, so it did contribute. It didn't make it. I mean, it was a full success either way, but now it's a 1. So, awesome. So on question loyalty, on any success, so that's anything 7 or higher or 7 or lower, you're going to shift their loyal, the person you're questioning, to the right, and they get to choose a stat to shift left. Which is interesting. I think
I'm maxed.
You're maxed, so that's instantly gonna give you an obligation. He's questioned your loyalty while you're like, I can't be any more loyal.
Mhm.
So yeah, go ahead and mark an ob.
All right, God, I'm going to mark it in my new issue. So, because I think
I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, that's the
makes
one
sense, right?
you go on, right?
Yep.
Go team.
Do we also figure out what to do about my resolve as well?
We're not done. We're not quite done with the question loyalty move.
Gotcha.
Or change. I mean. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm waiting for. You told me what you're marking your obligation.
Right. And then he also chooses a stat to shift left. Is that
Well,
correct?
because the one stat can't move, nothing moves. He just
Nothing
takes an
happens.
obligation.
Okay.
But because you got a 4 or less, your loyal is going to shift to the right, and you get to choose that. So you also get an obligation.
Boom.
Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna put a second one in what we're doing here, because now I've kind of called it out and put it out there.
That's the I want to be the mentor one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Jake, you're jealous of Jake going to other people. Excellent. So I think that means you have 4 marked obligations.
I have, I got 3 marked. One has 2. 4.
Okay.
So yeah, that's 4.
And,
4 obligations total.
yeah, and then up at the top, that's where I make sure that has 4 also, right? Total obligations. Okay.
Yeah, so you definitely are going to want to clear at least one of those before you get another one, because if you get another one, well, you might want to. Yeah. It's a mixed bag. If you take another one, you'll take an ego.
I'm trying to clear the detention one, so that's kind of a 2 for 1
That's
there.
fair. That's fair. Like I said, it is not the end of the world if you take an ego. You don't leave the band until you take 5 of them. So.
Oh, okay, we're good.
So.
And you
may actually want to take an ego.
Yeah, you get an improvement-like thing for taking an ego. So.
You do. Do we? I don't know. We'll talk about it if it happens, or if somebody's interested in trying to make it happen. We'll talk about how it works. All right. So now we also we had to collaborate. Going over that page. So your die is used in the summation, so you're going to shift your loyal to the left.
Right. Or correct.
And you get to choose a stat that you want to shift to the right.
So before I decide what I want to do about that, the one that I would shift to the right, good question. Which thing I feel improves because I was pushing this agenda of Avian's.
It ain't smooth.
No.
No.
Could be edge.
Could be.
Could also be spark, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, it could be spark. What is my spark currently at? What if so yeah, I think that if we were to do the shift, let's go with spark, because I would think that I'm working on being quick in order to be able to push this agenda and to be able to get what it is that I want and respond fast as to what's going on you know, and it worked, right? In order to be able to get what it is that I, instead of doing the shift, which would suck my loyalty die down to a D10. I'm thinking about marking an obligation instead, but I don't think any of the ones that I currently have work, so I would have to create a new issue for it.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to create the issue on the spot. It should have something to do with this situation, but you can come up with that as we move forward.
Yeah.
How many obligations is that now for you? 2? 3?
It would be 3.
And they're all on different issues?
They all are in different this issue. Yeah, exactly. Which is
Can you tell me what the rest of your stats are? You have them in front of you?
My stats?
Yeah.
Smooth +1, edge -2, loyal +1, spark -1, keen -2.
Okay. Oh, so you're pretty much where you're starting. Like
Yeah.
You've
Marking those obligations.
Yeah.
That's what it
Okay.
comes down to. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I think that the issue will have something to do with Jake.
yeah. I have a lot of issues with
Why is
everybody.
everybody being mean to my friend?
Man,
Yeah.
I got a gravity around me.
Everybody hates a winner, Jake.
That's right.
All right,
Yeah.
so
That's right. So that's
So-
where I'm leaning to. That
let's talk about fictionally what this means. It doesn't change because you were already maxed out. It doesn't really change the way you see yourself or feel about yourself. But it does give you that like gravity of like feeling the weight of an obligation to something. For those of you who stats couldn't shift. For Timothy, he feels this pull to be different, but fights himself on it and feels that same weight on fighting it. But how does the mood feel in the car after this little conversation?
Awkward AF. Lizzie has no idea how to respond, and she's just kind of wide-eyed at the wheel.
I'm really interested after this actually to know a little more about how Jake feels about it. So once this has been happening, I've been kind of looking at him, at his face and his body language in order to try to figure out how he's feeling about, especially Fabian and I kind of digging at him a bit.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ascertain his disposition.
Yep.
It's definitely an uncomfortable situation.
Yes, it is. And if anyone else, yeah. So you can roll with Keen.
Cool. My keen is -2. So that is.
So again, this is a way that we can get some discrete information as players that our characters would be able to glean from the situation. So wait for him to interrogate the fiction about your character.
So it looks like I got a 6, yes?
Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong tab. I believe
Yep.
you. All right, that's a partial. So you get 1 hold.
It's 1 hold.
You get to ask one of those 5 questions.
So, sorry about that. As I look over the list, and as my character sits there and takes a look at Jake, I'm curious to know what does Jake wish I'd do?
I wish you would stick up for me. I wish that you would acknowledge that, you know, I'm always making excuses for you. I'm always, you know, like saying you're doing a great job. You're a big part of this. And instead of thank you, I get, oh, Fabian, that sounds great. Let me shovel some more shit on there.
This is so good.
Good to know. Good to know. And this helps a lot with me being able to create an issue too. Good.
Yeah, so that seems like good fodder for your issue, if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor Jake.
So yeah, I realize as this conversation is going on how it is that he feels, and deep down, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit bad about the pylon, and that this might not necessarily have been the right time and place to be able to do this. So, after learning that and realizing that's going on, look. Don't take this the wrong way. It's just that I've got big plans for us, and I know that we can do great stuff. And the last thing I want, especially after tonight's success, is for anyone to feel badly about it. So maybe the best thing to do is to just put a lid on it for tonight. Let's go and let's have some food and drinks, and we can kind of think a little bit more about this tomorrow. I definitely don't want our success to be overshadowed by some things that, yeah, maybe we need to deal with, but don't worry about it. Let's not worry about it.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm gonna turn the music up in the car. And I'm gonna be like, Jake, you have got to listen to this new Radiohead album. It is so good.
Awesome. So let's cut the scene pretty much there. I'm going to throw in a little flavor. So as you pull into the parking lot, you see Christopher's truck is there. And you see him in like the paint inside like the window, right, facing the parking lot or whatever. And he's like, they're already wearing a big basket.
IHOP instead. He's here.
What's that?
I say, let's go to IHOP. He's here.
I like.
There's like a big basket of fries being delivered, and he's like, "Hey!"
I just want a super bird. God.
Awesome, good scene, guys. All right. So, also while you were having technical difficulties, Robert, they were saying that they all kind of had ideas about scenes they wanted to have in their home life after. So we don't need to fast forward to that right now. If we have more ideas for what to happen, or we can just kind of go to everybody.
The only thing I wanted to do, because when we were having this conversation, Lizzie was just sitting there not really saying anything. I also wanted to do an ascertain for her disposition.
We can have dinner. We can do a scene at the diner.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's make, because yeah, she was kind of indirectly targeted a little bit as far as like being the thing that, or being the reason that Jake is potentially not
right.
He had plans with you and this and that, and yeah. So yeah. So let's roll into that then. So who wants to start?
What time of night is it? Day? Night?
It's probably pretty late in the evening. It's dark. It's probably mostly teenagers or like early 20s types that are like, it's after dinner time. Like you're in the but not quite in the after.
The bars haven't closed yet.
Time, yeah.
Right.
So just to set flavor, Jake said, I say I'm not hungry when the waitress asks me what I want. I just want a black coffee, and all three of you know that I like my coffee sweet as hell and light as hell. And I'm just in the corner of the booth and drinking my black coffee.
I'll sit next to you.
All right. So yeah, so clearly, like, there's still some tension, as there would be.
I'm ordering a large stack of pancakes.
Okay.
Same
Super
here,
bird.
same here with chocolate chips.
Super bird. Does anybody remember the deli dinger?
Remember what?
Yes.
The deli dinger? I don't think they do it anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a Denny's in years. Yeah. So yeah, there's some tension here. Jake is feeling a little sullen. The "don't take it personally" speech may not have landed quite the way Timothy wanted it to, but he
I'm
tried.
gonna sweeten his coffee.
No, okay.
Slide it back over.
And I'm going to give you like a little elbow under the table.
Lean into you a bit.
And Christopher's like, kind of a weird vibe, guys. What happened? You know you won, right?
Yeah, but everybody thinks I suck at bass. There, I said it.
Nobody said that.
What? No. You did great. What are you talking about?
See? And I'm not saying I can't get better. But I guess I'll just practice more.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
We all need to practice more. That's the point.
Well, you guys need to practice.
Ouch.
All right. So I want to go ahead and do the ascertain or decision on her.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good job.
All right. So it's going to be a keen.
Yep.
I also do practice literally all the time.
Yes.
So the practice more, and you guys know that. So like, we all need to practice more is really like a
Right.
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
am I
You
supposed to
definitely.
practice more?
You're definitely like the classically trained. Like you're truly the most probably.
I go to piano 4 times a week. Screw you guys.
Yeah, that's a 9.
Ooh, a 9. All right, so that is a fail.
Yes, it is.
So you still get to ask a question, and then I'm going to pinch.
All right. Well, my question is going to be, what's your character really feeling, Lizzie?
I am very angry that I felt like you laid all of the blame on one person. Because this is, in her mind, always been a collaborative effort. So when you criticize one of us, you criticize all of us. And that has really kind of like sunk under her skin that the one person that she feels connected to in this band, everybody is piling on. When really, Jake is the one who talked y'all into being there.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and then on top of that, there's a little thing I can do that basically my change is I'm gonna let you turn that move back on him. So you get to ask him a question about his character.
Bring it.
So you probably don't have the list in front of you. So on page 48.
Yeah, I don't know the list. What's the list?
So
I have the bios.
So you can you gain hold, so you can have a conversation and then spend it when it makes sense. So you don't have to like just blurt it out of context. But your questions that you can ask are: is your character telling the truth? What's your character really feeling? What does your character intend to do? What does your character wish I'd do? And how could I get your character to blank?
Okay.
So like you could
I'll think
go back into this conversation and then like ask him a question in the conversation and then say, is he telling the truth? For instance, like you can save it for when it's relevant to the conversation.
Okay.
So,
Love it.
so if you guys are just kind of sitting here mostly in silence,
Yeah, I'm very much
No.
like
Christopher's like scrolling through his
closed off.
and finding these videos of you guys, like that people took from the crowd that's being shared around. Like, look, you guys already have 250 views on this one. Trying to hype you guys back up again.
I think, yeah, I'm sorry. I think, no, I will. I go over to Jake, if he's not sitting next to me, and I said, come on, man. Don't sit there and drown your sorrows in a coffee cup. What the fuck's up?
I mean, nothing, man. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I had it in my head like this would be just like the most awesome drive home and the most awesome celebration meal because we won. And now I don't know, like the real bad vibe, Timothy. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And I don't know. I don't understand where it's coming from. That's
Don't
all.
get-
It's just not what I thought.
Don't get all cut up in your head, man. This is the way that bands are. And the fact of the matter is that it's just like any kinds of relationship. And there's going to be some ups and there's going to be some downs. But if we don't sit and analyze some of the things that are going wrong, then there's no way that it's going to survive the long haul. I mean, I'm sure that you know how there are tons of bands that even at the top of the popularity, when something goes bad and it isn't addressed, just freaking tanks the entire band. And that's not something that I want to happen to us. So that's why, even though I know it can come out badly sometime, when I see that there's something that's bothering one of the other people in the band, whether that be Fabian, whether it be you, yeah, I'm not going to freaking beat around the bush. I'm honest. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to figure out what it is so that we can solve the freaking problem. That's the
So-
only way that we can be better as a band and start to actually work together and trust each other and have it be bigger than have it be better and bigger than just the individual parts that we play.
So
Yeah, but there wasn't an issue until you guys made it an issue.
Well, you know what? We if we're gonna go forward,
We
you know,
won, and I
everybody-
don't know why you're bringing this up now.
because it's fresh in our minds of what has happened. I mean, it's constructive criticism. We're all going to have
Nothing
something we need
happened.
to tell
We
other
won.
people. But that doesn't matter that we won. What we
I
won.
think it kind of does matter that we won.
Wait,
Wait, come on. Why are you guys arguing? What happened? Tell me what happened. I'll help. I can moderate.
Well, apparently Jake's up in his head too much.
Well,
And since all this has come
right
out,
now, it seems to be.
I want to challenge his issue.
Yes.
God damn.
Nothing personal, Craig. Nothing personal.
No, that's
Oh,
okay.
well, Craig's feed went out. Oh, where'd he go? No, this is great. This is amazing.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me see.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that's really done per se.
Yeah, there's no
Challenge.
role. Yeah, he has
Yeah.
to mark it challenged.
It's challenged now.
And then they have to mark it as challenge in their bio. Players may only have one at a time, and the player may clear their challenge issue by resolving their issue or by dismissing the issue.
Yeah,
Basically,
so-
they have to deal with the issue.
So in the issue box in the top right, there's a little thing that says challenged.
Yep.
So you can go ahead and mark that issue as challenged. Tick that little box.
Okay.
So you have a couple of things you can do about it. If you can get rid of all the obligations that are on that issue, which you can do by spending scenes to do that. Once it has no obligations marked against it, then you can take a scene to resolve your issue.
Okay.
It takes a whole scene, so only one issue by any one player can be resolved in a scene. If fictionally there's a way that it would happen, it would just cost two scenes to do that. So
Got it. Yeah.
but and then you're going to set a scene. We'll see how that plays out and what form that takes. And basically, if you resolve it, that means that it's never going to reappear. Even if you decide to add a new issue, it's not going to be that one. It might be related, it might be similar, but it's not going to be the same issue. And that either means that like you figure out a way to make the rest of the band understand like this is just who you are and you're just in your head and that's okay and it's not really a problem for the band, or maybe it's you figure out a way to like find your center and be more in the moment or whatever. And so we'll see how fictionally if you resolve it. The other option you have is you can just dismiss that issue. If you just decide I don't want to deal with this issue, you can spend renown. You have to spend 4 renown. You clear all the obligations, the issues, you cross it out. You don't gain the improvement, but then in the similar way, it's no longer an issue. And that's like more of the aggressive, like, get out of my face. This is just, this is my thing. Leave me alone. Don't bring it up again. And so you have those options. You don't have to choose either of them right now. If you decide as the game's going on, like you don't want to keep focusing on that thing for your character, you can just dismiss the issue. But if you do resolve it, you will get an improvement. Awesome.
Hey, real quick, because I don't remember, who knows that Lizzie pulled the fire alarm in our group, if anybody?
I think it's everybody but Timothy.
I don't know.
Because Timothy was in detention,
on the other side of the school.
Yeah.
Timothy.
All right, so it was everybody but Timothy. That's what I thought. All right.
Fabian might not know unless you told him because he was in the other room, but
Oh yeah, no. So it's just me and Jake that know.
Okay, got it.
unless somebody told him. Why would you? I mean, I'm sure you were focusing on other things.
Lizzie and I have secrets.
We were trying to get the hell out.
Okay, awesome. You guys are playing this game.
So what are we gonna do? We got that detention thing we all got to deal with when we all left the school. And that might be a little rough because they're gonna try to pin that fire alarm on us.
Yeah, I mean,
They might.
that sounds like a Monday problem to me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's something we probably should get out of the way so it doesn't affect our ability to practice and stuff. So.
Did we all have detention?
Yeah. Well, they had me mark it down as all of us. So.
No. It was the other people who were in detention.
It was them. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well then never mind. I haven't said any of that. Sorry.
Yeah, you got them to like go along with your walkout.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got it.
Cool. Anybody else want to say anything in particular while we're at the diner, or is it just the mood kind of lightened at all after this kind of comes out into the air?
Guys, it's. I'm with Jake when he said, we don't want to stay in Lizzie's garage. I'm just saying that bands a lot better than us. I'm talking about professionals. Also screw up when they don't come together and do what needs to be done. If I'm doing something wrong, you got to tell me. I don't know. It's constructive criticism. We're not telling somebody, oh, Jake, you suck. You can't play this. You can't do that. You're never going to get any better. It's not that at all. It's just like, hey, man, let's just focus. And then, of course,
That's
I got
not what it
cut off
sounded
and
like.
talk to everybody else, but that's beside the fact.
You still have a hold. Lizzie still has a hold, I think. Right?
Hit him, Lizzie.
You still have a hold to ask a question if you want to during this conversation.
Oh, I know.
Okay. So Christopher's like, yeah. I mean, look. I know I'm not part of the band, but
No, you're not part of the band.
Whatever.
What
You're
did you
kind
say?
of part of the
Wait,
But you guys are great, and you did great tonight. I don't think anybody should feel bad about enjoying it, living it up. And
did anyone ask for your opinion?
Hey,
Rude.
don't have to be mean to him.
See, that is not constructive criticism.
I will leave that out of my blog post tonight. That's
Or you can say it. Apparently, we're just saying what we're all thinking. So go ahead.
well, when you guys make it big, nobody else is gonna have documentation like I do in my blog. So I'll save you that. Clearly, tensions are high.
So what you're saying, Christopher, is you want to be our PR guy.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
What do you guys think? Except for, well, we already know what Timothy thinks. So, but
What are you guys thinking? We're having enough difficulty,
I
clearly,
think
as
it's
it is.
great.
Why are we trying to add something else to the mix here?
Marketing.
I think it'd be good, like, if all of us could just concentrate on practicing and playing, like having somebody like Christopher help us with like the playlists and, booking gigs and
getting us snacks.
yeah, helping us move the equipment. I mean, it's not all that bad of an idea. It kind of fits into Timothy, which you've been all tied up about, and Fabian's all tied up about, and
Gives us access to another vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth the extra difficulties that it's going to cause.
Like
I'm
what?
completely against the idea.
What
I think it's a
difficulties?
great idea.
Oh.
Remember, could you do me a favor? I turn to Christopher and say, could you give us a moment? Just a moment. Just a
Sure.
band
problem.
meeting.
I had to go to the bathroom anyway.
Is this actually a different scene?
I think it might be.
I think we're still in this. We still have about a minute left in this scene, so if you guys
Right.
want to lead it into another scene, or if you want to end it up here, that's fine. I think it'll end before Christopher comes back to the table.
All right, he's gone. What do you got to say, Timothy? Come on. Jeez.
What?
The pancakes are getting cold.
You literally just told him to piss off.
Yeah, I did. Because the fact of the matter is that you guys haven't had to deal with him the way that I've had to deal with him. And so while you may all think it's funny and puppy dog like that he's following me around all over the place.
It's pretty cute.
But if we're giving
More
him other
annoying than
jobs to
anything
do, then that means he'll be around you less.
No.
Refocus him.
No.
Redirect.
He's just going to constantly come at me.
Is this like a pull your pigtails hate, or like what's going on here?
Or punch each other in the arm on the playground kind of hate.
Right.
I don't know. Are you ascertaining my disposition?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think I'm the one that called for it. So
yeah.
all right, so let's do that. So let's ascertain.
Yeah, except that I'm going to undermine that.
Oh, are you now?
Wow. Cool. It's the first time we get to see Undermine. It's the opposite of
Now, can somebody else do the opposite of the under, or do the
Anti-undermine? Overmind.
Overmind.
Isn't there a opposite of that one that I could help him with?
Only
It's
one person.
Collaborate. Oh no, yeah, collaborate.
So only one person can do it.
Do that. Sounds good.
I think he's
All
he's in a better position to undermine than you are to collaborate. So
Try to put my shields up here.
All right, so I'm going to ascertain,
Yes.
and
Great.
what will that be with Keen?
that's with Keen. Yep.
All right, so I'm going to -1. What does the undermine do?
It's going to add a die of Timothy's to the pool. You're going to take the highest two instead of the lowest two.
Take the highest of the. So I'm going to roll 2d6.
And what is your loyalty die type, Greg?
D4.
No, it's going to be one of Timothy's loyalty die type.
A D8.
Okay, so I do 2d6 or 2d6 plus d8. What do I do? I'm
2d6
sorry.
plus a d8, and then you're going to take the highest two.
Got it. All right.
So while he has a d8, it's bad for helping. It's really good at like hindering. So
All right. And then do I still subtract a 2?
yeah, you still subtract your stat. Yeah.
Or my -1. Okay. All right. So I've got 1. All right. All right. So let's roll. I've got to take the highest, which is a 5 and a 2. So a 7 minus 1 is a 6. So on ascertain, let's hold 1. That sound right?
Yeah, was mine used?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Okay.
Yes,
So
it
your
was
die was
used.
used. We'll deal with that later. After we do the ascertain. But he did get a full success, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you get?
6.
5 through 7. Yeah.
Okay, so you get a partial success. So you get to hold 1, and you can use that right away, or you can hold it. And then for the successful,
Shift loyalty to the left. Show that you're growing weary of the group's reliance on you.
hold on.
Or if, however, your die is not, it was used. Or the hindering is that you are adamant about hindering them, undermine, and choose another stat to shift right.
Yeah. So you're shifting your loyal left, and another stat to shift right.
That was me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because you successfully undermined.
Right, I successfully did that.
It's not very loyal of you, and you're good at it, so you're losing some loyalty for that.
Yeah. So loyalty to the left and a stat to the right.
All right. And so I ask you that question. You don't answer me, Timothy. And finally, I just.
What was the question? I do have to answer the question,
Well,
right?
well, so I asked, like, is this like punch you in the arm or pull the pigtails? Hey.
Oh, that right. So our characters are talking about
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I haven't picked my question yet. But I
Gotcha.
know what it is, but I haven't asked it yet.
No. That I understand now. You're asking me. Greg doesn't know the difference between these two. What's the difference between punching in the arm?
So, like,
Yeah.
pull the pigtails is I really like you.
Oh.
So I'm going to be mean to you. And the other one is I'm just mean to you.
I understand.
Trying to like, I'm hinting at what your feelings
gotcha.
towards Christopher are.
Oh. So, no, he's really driving me nuts and has been driving me crazy. And my concern is that if he's going to want to be more than what it is that you're giving them, and he's just going to want to be part of the band, and that we're never going to be able to get rid of him. I've just seen this behavior as he dogs me throughout school everywhere, and just having him here that's going to continue, and then it's going to happen to you guys as well. Or if not, then it's just going to be 3 times as bad to me. So no, I really just want him gone.
How can I get you to give Christopher a chance?
Yes.
Perfect.
That is a very good question. You would have to figure out some. I don't want to tell your character what to do.
I've asked you what could I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's asking you.
What you're directly asking. That's true. You are directly asking.
That's ascertain. Yeah.
Get an ascertain. What?
Now, to be fair to everyone at the table, the answer to that question can always be, there is nothing you can do. Nothing will ever change my mind on this. But that is saying something very, very specific about who you're,
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that would be the case with Timothy at this point, especially because it's clear that everybody else is not on the same side as him. Only way that I would be willing to be able to accept them in here, at least in the short term, is for you to keep them away from me. and keep him out of my face. And if you've got things for him to do, great. Make sure that it has nothing to do with me and it's things for you to do that you want him to do. Things for you, but not for me. Because
Got it.
he's just crawling all over me every minute of the day. And the last thing that I want, in addition to that, is for him to be texting me stuff about the band, because now he's going to be part of it. So I don't know what that's going to take. I don't know if you can give him enough stuff to do, whether you're going to feel like you have to have a conversation with him in order to be able to do that and to explain to him specifically, but that's about it. He's just got to get out of my freaking circle of influence here, because I just feel like that orbit keeps on going and he's just getting closer and closer to me until he crashes. So I think because of that, I'd like to stop this, undo this shift and mark an obligation on that issue, unnamed issue number 4.
That's the one to deal with Jake?
Yes, because we're having this.
Not the one to deal with Christopher.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can mark one for
interesting.
Christopher. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably better there. Good point. Good point. So we'll mark it there. So now I have 2 obligations on my one about Christopher.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. I'm going to cut this scene in the next minute or so, but any last things we want to do before we cut the scene? I know you still have a hold. If you want to use it, you don't have to if you don't. But...
I'm going to use it. How could I get Fabian to drop this subject?
Be more specific. The subject pertaining to.
I want you to leave Jake alone for the rest of the night. How can I redirect the conversation into something that you'll be super interested in talking about?
That will kind of be a waste of the question because I was already planning on not saying anything right now. I'd feel bad her using the question to not really get anything that I was not going to already do. Or should I just answer and she's used the question?
I'll sit on it. Don't worry about it. I'd be happy to sit on the question.
Yeah, and maybe make the question bigger, right? Not just for tonight, but in general. Lizzie wants you. What can she do?
Oh, that's a good one. How can I get you to lay off of Jake?
Okay, there you go. So overall.
There we go. Overall.
I guess basically to, I know you focus on the band a lot, but with our trajectory, keep it more professional amongst the group.
Okay.
It is worth noting, I know that Greg did answer Craig's question in character as Timothy. These questions don't have to be answered in character.
Yeah.
You're getting a read of this person through their body language and everything else. So if you don't want to answer, it's perfectly fine. That's the feeling Lizzie gets through the conversation.
Yeah, that's all. And from the things that I've said and how we've been back and forth, I think that's what she would pick up.
And that's how they can learn things that your character might never actually say aloud. Right.
Good point.
Right. Like,
Or maybe even know themselves, I would imagine. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. So I know we've been going for just over an hour.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break and then bust out those rest of those scenes?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. We'll be back in 10 minutes. we are back. Before we jump back in, I hand it over to Derek. I was reminded that the two brilliant minds at Session One Studios rolled a D12 and rolled a 12 and committed to giving our viewers 12 free copies of the PDF of Limelight. So if you're watching right now or you're watching later, shoot an email to info@session1studio.com. It's also in the chat. You can see it on the far left of your screen there. And just put in the title, the subject line, your favorite of the four characters,
Which is
or
Lizzie.
just Jake.
Lizzie.
And they'll
Jake
send
and
you a free
Lizzie,
copy of PDF. I
forever.
appreciate it, Derek and Greg, you doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
All right. So let's go ahead. We talked about some ideas for upcoming scenes. I think we'll probably get one more, unless they're super quick. Maybe we'll get to, but let's see what the next one is, and maybe the last one of the night. So who wants to their arrival back home after all of this?
I think it should be Lizzie or Timothy. I think we've had enough,
I
Jake.
think it should be Timothy. It was his idea first.
I'm happy to do so.
Okay. So let's set that. I mean, presumably you're getting dropped off by or right? I assume. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's assume that I'm getting home late.
Yeah, I mean it's already late, right? And so, are you past curfew?
Yeah, but my father being a military man, he probably went to sleep early, or did he? I don't know.
Yeah, or he's.
I would say so.
Reading.
You're
We'll see.
him. That normally he would go to sleep early.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting that he goes to sleep early. So the question is, do I see him that evening, or do I get to sleep and deal with him at breakfast the next morning on Saturday morning?
Let me ask a question that I don't know that we covered about your character. Tell me about your mom. Is she in the picture?
She is.
How where does she stand on this whole? You have to go to military school. You shouldn't be doing this band stuff. Stop being such a weirdo. That whole thing.
She tries to get my father to be able to see the extra sides of my character that he ordinarily doesn't see. But in the end, if he believes that this is what needs to be done, she will go along with it.
Does she have like a certain amount of leeway with telling him leave it alone, like let
I mean, there's a
slide and I'll take care of it, or like we're parenting together, or is he
No, absolutely. It's been my experience from watching them and their relationship together that there's a reason that he married her, and that even though he likes to put on airs about being the man of the house and the breadwinner and the person who steers that ship, so to speak, he does respect her.
Okay.
And will listen to what she has to say, even if at times he disagrees. So there's no question that if her argument is sound, that he will strongly take it into consideration. And there have been cases that I've seen where he's relented and done something different from what he originally was thinking, which is one of the reasons that I'm holding out some hope, because if she wasn't there, then I know I'd be screwed and be definitely already be at military school.
All right. So I think then he's probably been convinced by her to let curfew go. She knew about this audition, the band thing. Right. It's a big deal. She said, we'll deal with it in the morning. Go to bed. So he's not waiting up for you then. So unless you make a big noise, you can deal with it.
No, I'm not that stupid, and I have no reason tonight.
You know how to sneak in.
I've already had some difficulties. My bandmates are a little bit against me at this point, so I don't need any additional trouble tonight.
Yeah. So totally.
I would.
You get in. So we'll just skip to the next morning then, which I think we think is Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's typically early to bed, early to rise. So You probably wake. Well, what does Timothy wake up early? Do you take any steps to like try to make him okay with you, or is it just kind of?
This morning, I'm going to wake up earlier than him.
Oh, okay. What do you do when you get up?
I know we're very regimented, so we always have Saturday morning breakfast together. So I begin to set the table so that the meal can be prepared.
Okay. Yeah, so he
So I get up
kinda gets
extra early in order to be able to make sure that that's done before I expect that he would be down for breakfast.
Yeah, so as you're doing that, you kind of hear the sounds of like them rousing, and water turns on. They wash your face or whatever, and he comes downstairs first, I think, while your mother's still getting ready.
Oh, I have a younger sister too.
Okay, did we know that already? Did I forget to write that down?
I don't think so.
We
I
don't
don't think I don't think we talked about it.
Okay.
But I'm throwing it in there.
How much younger?
She's adopted.
I think Timothy's adopted. I'm just kidding.
Just keeps getting better and better.
Raised by
I'd
wolves.
say between the two.
How much younger?
She's at. I forgot. What's our age? Are we sophomores, juniors? I already forgot.
Yeah, it's somewhere in high school. I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. So let's say that. Let's say
6
that
years
she's a
younger?
freshman. I'm not a freshman. So let's say that she's entering. She's a freshman in high school.
A couple years younger than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like much younger, not like.
Right. But this would be the first year that we're together in high school.
Gotcha. Yeah, so she's probably not up yet.
Okay.
So your dad comes downstairs and he says, "Well, I hope it went well. Hope it was worth breaking curfew."
There always has to be a dig, doesn't there, sir? But yes, thanks for asking. It went great. We won.
You won. What does that mean?
It means we actually get to play during the town festivities later in the week. Not too bad for a bunch of, how did you put it? Losers, I believe? Maybe I heard you wrong. Where's
Careful
Mom, by
with
the
that tone. We could have a nice day today.
You know what? You're right. I had a great time last night. Things are looking really good. No problem. No problem at all. So, what were you thinking for breakfast?
Let's do pancakes and eggs, bacon, the usual.
As he tells me that, and I start to get things ready in order to be able to either make breakfast or help. I'm not sure how the family does it. Yeah, the family all takes care of it together on a Saturday morning. I'm kind of curious to know how he feels about what I've just told him. So, yeah, I'd like to ascertain what he's thinking about me.
Okay. Yeah, I think he kind of falls into a certain rhythm. I don't see him as being a particularly gregarious person,
Right.
not particularly open and sharing with his emotions. So, but you can read him by now. I mean, you've lived with him your whole life.
Yes. Yes, I have.
So yeah, if you'd like to ascertain his disposition, that.
Yeah, let's do that. So my key, because I always forget, is 2. Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. So let me roll one more d6 and then we can do that. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
Do we want to keep that and forget the other roll? I meant to roll only one more d6. So whatever you think.
Uh,
4 times the charm.
I'm happy with taking the high roll.
yeah, let's take the high roll.
So what was that? A 6 and a 5 minus 2?
No, so 9.
So I think I forgot to put the minus 2. Yeah. So that's a 9.
So it's a 9. You still get to ask a question.
Cool. How could I get my father to recognize that this victory for me is also a victory for him?
Ooh, nice.
That's really good.
Because I'm
Bring it to
always,
honor.
just feels like he just separates, it feels that we're so different. But I really do want him to realize that my successes are his successes because I'm his son.
Not only that, because now you're doing this stuff for the town performance.
And that
It's
too.
like your honor win-win is his honor and win.
Right. Yeah. So it's not just like even, it could be not looked at as like just completely selfish. It's benefiting the town. I'm being part of the community, and which is probably something that I hadn't done before.
Probably a new thing.
Probably new to my line of things. So yeah, all of those things together. I think you're muted, Derek.
How about now?
Now you're good.
Okay, cool. I accidentally bumped the physical button on my. So I think as you're preparing things, you get that he's conflicted, and you can probably gather a lot of what's going on, right? Like you said, you know that your mom's kind of standing in between what he wants really to do with you and what you want to do with you, and so you kind of know that that's why he wasn't waiting up for you last night, probably,
Right.
and he seems to be kind of like not laying into you as much as you might have thought he would. So you're kind of feeling all of that, and I think you get the impression that, and maybe he even says something offhandedly as you're working, or even before you start with the breakfast or whatever, or in the past, it's been a common refrain where he kind of talks about how it's just kind of a childish thing. It's a useless, it's like almost that, like, it's not a practical thing you're doing with your time, right? Like art is for layabouts and like people with nothing good to offer to the world, that kind of thing. So
Right.
he kind of sees it that way, I think. So I think if you can kind of show him that it is this thing that does have some kind of use. I mean, maybe it's not as practical as like building something with your hands or whatever, but it brings people together. It gives people something to, like, a shared experience, this town performance, whatever thing. I think what I'm going to say is you get the idea that, like, he needs to see it. He needs to experience it as like a member of the audience. You need to commit, like, if you can convince him to come and, like, see people come together and, like, experience this thing, then maybe he'll see what you see about it. Like, he'll see that.
Right. Interesting.
Like, he's struggling with that because your mom sees more of that, right? So,
Right.
and she's probably saying things like that to him, but he still doesn't really. It's never been a thing for him, right? Like, so maybe he's just he was probably never really pushed to be creative and whatever. So,
Right. Gotcha.
but now I get to make a change.
Did that come out as a fail?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So, let's see. Your sister is now making her appearance, her way downstairs.
Mom still isn't here yet.
Probably not. No.
Okay.
I think this, like you said, it's kind of a family thing, and I think this is his thing. It's like it's his day, because like he gets to be the dad on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and this is his time to like be with the kids, and because he probably works late and all of that kind of stuff. So she kind of lets him do that, and she does her own thing. And so yeah, your sister is coming down now. She's got her phone in her hand, and you hear like some of the screaming crowd coming out of her phone, and you hear some of the riffs of one of your songs. So she's like watching it, and she's like typing something into her phone, and she's like laughing, and she's got like her that doesn't make sense. Yeah, she's like typing something. She's like probably like messaging with her friends or something. And she's like, as she comes into the room, she's like bursts out laughing, and she's like, "You are such a nerd. What are you doing?" And she like turns the phone around and points it at you.
So is it our performance last
Yeah,
night
it's your
that she's
performance
showing
from
that
last
someone
night.
took?
Yeah, that somebody took from the crowd and hit it around. And...
Said, "What do you mean, nerd? That's freaking awesome! What am I seeing right there?"
Did you see you went up against a barbershop quartet? Like, what are you doing?
Oh,
Ouch.
Ow.
Ouch.
Ow.
Alice, since when do you think that you know what the hell you're talking about? Because this is one case where you have no effing idea.
Sorry, did you just name her?
I just named her
Alice?
Oh, I missed the name. What was it?
Alice.
Oh, Alice is missing.
Oh, what a game. She says, "I know you don't care what I think, but I'm not the only one of my friends who thinks you guys are nerds. Why do you want to be in the town concert? What? That's for like old people." And
No. Like I said, you don't know what you're doing. It's a step. It's a step to better things. I guarantee once we're there and playing at that thing, we are going to get noticed. And big shit is going to happen
There we go.
because
Awesome.
of that. Trust me, Father. Trust me.
oh, you turned it to your dad?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he was like involved in the conversation. He's in the room. He's making bacon or pancakes or whatever. And he says, I don't think he says anything, but it sounds to me like you are trying to resolve your issue with him. Do you have an obligation with him right now?
I don't think I do, no. Because
No, we
it's
can't
just an
resolve an
issue that
obligation.
was set up from the beginning. So this is the only one that I don't have any obligations on.
Oh, so if you had an obligation, you could clear it. But
Yeah. No, I don't at this point. But
okay.
no. Say, look.
He says,
Oh, go ahead.
"You really think this is a step?"
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make you a deal.
Uh-oh.
Let's make a deal.
I bet that after that performance, we are going to get major interest from a real record company. If we do, you don't send me to military school. If it doesn't happen, I'll go. No questions
in.
asked. That's how confident
my
I am.
God.
All in.
I'm attempting to coerce him.
Yes, you are. Oh, I mean, I can't stop you from attempting it, so you definitely get to make the roll. Let me look at the
Vote of confidence from the GM. Do you really want to do that?
Like, yeah, I can't stop you, but
Who knows what'll happen?
You can try.
make that roll.
But this is a way, for me to.
Oh,
I have
you're
that
trying to
much
manipulate him.
confidence.
You definitely have triggered it at this point.
Yeah. So it's just whether or not that's good enough that he's potentially
We're
willing
about to
to.
find out. Did you push the right buttons?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. I mean, is that good enough leverage to say that I'll just go if that doesn't happen? But then he's got to, also.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see if I can use technical stuff right this time.
Like I said, he was already a little bit conflicted. They probably actually had an argument last night about it
Right.
again. So, and you won, so he's already a little bit like, oh, maybe she's right. Like,
it's too bad none of you guys are there in order to be able to help me out with this.
We're with you in spirit, sir. We're with you in spirit.
What is this
it's
with?
Cheering you on.
My
It's
smooth.
a
Oh,
smooth
that's my smooth stat is so good. By that I mean it's not good.
Oh, +1. Yeah, it's not great.
Not bad.
Oh, look at you.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
No,
All right.
Not bad at all.
So he's going to go along with you, but you're going to owe him 1. And I think that's a little loose. I think in this case, what that looks like is he says he's going to alter the deal and say, if you get any interest, I'll give you a little bit more freedom to keep pursuing this.
Shit.
You don't have to worry about it. I'm confident. Don't listen to Alice over there. She doesn't know what the heck she's talking about. I give her some
She's
side.
probably on to something else, whatever. Like,
Yeah, okay, good.
She's watching now
Just
she's on
ignore that. Trust me.
some link. Yeah, so I think that also includes, if you'd like it to, and this is your call.
Yeah.
That includes him committing to going to this event.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And he was
not?
probably already going to
Yay.
Right.
this like town thing anyway, because it's a big deal and he's a upstanding member of the community or whatever.
But look, I'm looking for approval. I'd much rather
Yeah.
have approval from him than constantly feel like that I'm getting, shot down.
Right. So that'll give you those options in the future to maybe do something else
Right.
directly.
But
So,
I think
you
I
took
have
a
to
big
mark an
gamble.
obligation too, don't I?
What's that?
I have to mark an obligation too, right?
You have to mark an obligation related to the NPC.
So that's with him. You know what that does.
How many obligations do you currently have marked?
4.
How many of you now have marked?
Maybe 5.
Okay, so
Whoops.
Stop it.
Yep.
you know what? It's actually kind of fitting that this would be
It
where
is.
you would take your ego.
Yep.
So, because he's marking his 5th obligation, he's going to clear all of those obligations and instead mark an ego. This represents he is now feeling more confident in himself to the point where these minor obligations he was dealing with before, whatever, he'll just breeze through them. No big deal. He's feeling more confident in himself and more reliant on himself. But that makes him one step closer to not needing you guys. So if he takes too many egos, he just won't. He'll be so full of himself that he's gonna go solo, right? He's gonna.
That's really cool.
So as kind of a side benefit, so it's not all bad for him. He does now get a bonus. for having an ego. So when you take your first ego, for the rest of the game after that, you get 1 extra die during the performance whenever you're the backup. So
Very
as the backup, he carries that confidence in himself now onto the stage with him, and stands out even more as a backup. When you take your second ego, you additionally get an extra die when you're rhythm. Basically the same thing. Third ego, you get an extra die when you're the lead. So, and then when you take your fourth ego, where you're at that precipice of leaving the band, you are now so full, you get 2 extra dice in every performance phase, or every performance focus. So you get better at showmanship because you're so confident, but each step you're taking steps kind of away from a band, not in that loyalty way, but in that I'm better than everyone else kind of way.
But there is one other negative from taking the ego.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the negative is that I can no longer attain the highest loyalty that's available in the game.
That's
so
cool.
that D4 loyalty that you've been using, Craig, is not available to me ever through the rest of the game.
He still has
Picking on Jake.
Yeah.
He still has the ability to get to -3 loyal stat.
Right, but not
But
the
it
die.
only equates
But not
to
the die.
D6 now.
So yeah, it's a little
the
give and take
stat?
there. I get a little boost in the performance, but now I have this.
He'll never
Yeah,
get to
I
be-
can't do it.
He can still improve to a D4
Yeah.
through the action spaces. So, but he won't naturally get one.
Right.
So yeah. So we got to see something interesting and unexpected from Timothy, I think.
That's Timothy
Awesome.
for you. He.
Anybody else have any questions for him, like as a character, as a player, whatever, before we wrap? All right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
know.
cool. That was
Go
pretty
bigger,
cool.
go bigger. You know.
Yeah, so let's slip to credits, and we've got a lot to talk about on the other side. We'll be
Awesome.
right back.
Sounds good.
Yay.
We are back. Derek, you're in charge, sir.
Awesome. So we're gonna do stars and whiskers, right? We do that every episode. Cool. Let's start with. I want to start with Fabian or Robert. How are we feeling?
I'm sorry.
How are
What
we
was your
feeling?
stars?
Stars. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think definitely, it's going over to Timothy. Going all in. Saying if we get interest, great. If not, I'm going to go, which is something he totally doesn't want to do. That was a big push, even though it got altered a little bit to his favor, but still, just to try it, that was awesome.
And it felt teenagey, right?
Yeah.
Like it felt like the dad son confrontation. It was great.
For sure.
I just figured I'd figure out a way to weasel out of it later anyway. So why not go in all in?
Awesome.
As far as wishes, I don't really think I have any right now this time around. I mean, I'm having a good time.
Excellent.
The things that I like are happening. So I don't really have a wish this time.
Just
Okay.
more of the same.
Yeah, just keep it going.
That's fair.
This is a great group. I mean, it's hard to have a wish. We're hitting all the angles. I wish. Okay, I do have one wish that Greg doesn't take out my actions upon myself. So.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you're
will
enjoying it.
will Timothy really be more of a taskmaster now? I don't know.
Okay. Let's go to let's go to Jake. Jake, you got hammered a little hard that episode, but how are we feeling
Yeah,
as a player?
assholes.
But here's what's cool about it, right?
Wow.
And this is what's cool about a good table is that like that's fantastic, right? Like Jake being targeted and Jake having a hard time. I enjoy when my characters in a role-playing game are having a tough time because it's interesting. I'm like, you know, one of the reasons when I was first introduced to the concept of success with consequences, I was just like, yeah, like I love that, right? That's when it's interesting. And you know, when I'm playing Blades in the Dark, I'm like, give me a devil's bargain. Let's rough this stuff up, you know. And so yeah, that didn't bother me at all. But my start was I I saw like we were watching like a 90s uh movie. I saw that diner scene, and that's cool. And what's cool is that it was underpinned by mechanics. So that's my star where yeah, everybody knows this is that I'm just a huge fan of mechanics that support play. And you know, what are we playing? We're playing a bunch of teenagers who are emotional idiots who want to become a band and want to bring this together. And it played out. It played out like a movie, which I really enjoyed. And as far as wishes are concerned, um, I definitely can't wait to do more scenes. I really enjoy the scenes, but I'm enjoying the spillover from scenes to the performance to scenes to the performance. So I think the next performance will be very interesting based on the progress and the implications of what happens during the scene. So I'm wishing for more scenes and then to see how that spills into the next performance.
Absolutely, yeah. And then like in a way, like I think we said, or I think we told you guys, but I get a couple of scenes during the preparation, so you'll get a little bit of those repercussions for what's happening in your scenes during my scenes.
Excellent.
But I have no idea what that's going to look like yet because you're going to build it for me, so that's going to be awesome. Greg.
My star this time goes to Craig and Jake. I really liked that Jake drew a line in the sand and was not willing to budge and really said what it is that he felt. And really additionally, everybody else sticking up for Christopher, because
Mhm.
that forced me and my character to have to think about changing their point of view. I personally don't like characters then stay static.
Right.
So I like it that I was given a really great ball to run with in order to be able to think about, well, how could I change my mind and what implications will this have? How will I feel if you guys are able to keep Christopher away from me? Then how is that going to change how I feel about him? Right now, I don't like him at all. But if you're able to do that, then that makes me feel even better about all of you guys and will start to change my opinion of Christopher as well. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing what happens there. I'm also, of course, wishing and looking forward to seeing what the rest of my band members think of my little bargain that I made with my father. It's a way of me showing, look, if you thought that I really wasn't putting my faith in you guys, I think I just did.
Yeah, right.
So, do you guys see it, or do you just see it as something completely stupid? Like, what were you thinking? You know, maybe you'll think that it was like we're never gonna like get a record contract. If that happened, then you'd get thrown out. You wouldn't be in the band anymore. You're screwing us all. So, I'm curious to see what you guys do about that. What you think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So last but not least, Amy, how are we feeling?
Oh, I hate going last because everybody else gets their choices first.
Right.
No, my star this evening is kind of watching the kind of like group dynamic interplay. It's becoming really interesting to see like there's like Lizzie and Jake who are like, we're here because we fucking love it. Sorry, we effing love it. And we're about the music and we're about being together and it's not really about music is Lizzie's life. She's always going to be in music whether she's making it or not. you know, like making it. But she's just doing it because she loves it, and Jake's doing it because he loves all of them and wants to be together. And then there's these other two who are like, we're gonna make it. This is a thing. We need to get professional and start getting attention and deals, and you know, so kind of like that. It's interesting to see how they kind of interplay off of each other. So
Okay.
that's been kind of my own little star this evening. And my wish is I wish we could do this way more often. Can we do it every week? Every like 3 days? I'm okay with every day. We could just do it every night. Every night, 8 p.m.
That's
right
it.
here.
That's
on
it.
Third
I mean, who
Floor.
needs to work? Let's do it tomorrow
right.
morning.
Right. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm here.
Let's do it for fun.
Fortunately, the next one is much sooner than the other ones have been.
It
So
is.
I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that being the case.
Yay.
Hopefully, we'll be able to do that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the scenes, and I'm looking forward to those more to continue building out
Yeah.
those dynamics between all of us. I love it.
Awesome.
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
And Derek, you have the last.
Yeah. So you thought you had to go
God,
last.
you have to go last.
That's right.
Next time I'm going first. No, I think it's very similar to yours. Like my starters to all you guys. You guys are you're playing this game that before we started trying to put this together, you probably never even heard of, and about a theme that people aren't making games about. So it's this obscure thing, and you guys are not just playing it, but you're really playing the game. Like you're driving your characters like stolen cars. You're making things happen. You're using the mechanics of the game to do that, and it's making great narrative just kind of organically through you guys and what you're doing. And I'm loving watching it happen. And and as you guys keep going, you're getting better and better at it. So I think that's great. My wishes is just to keep it up. I think I don't know how much better it can keep getting, but let's see what
Let's find out, right?
Because it does seem to
We'll
just
find
keep
out
getting
tomorrow morning.
Don't worry. Just
Indeed.
like our characters, we're gonna make it even better next time.
Oh, that's funny.
So awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. I'm glad everyone's having a great time. I know I'm having a great time playing with you guys. So
Thank you.
All right. And hey,
Yeah, thank you.
those of you watching, you made it to the end. We appreciate you doing that.
Yay,
Take care.
congrats.
All right.
Bye.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.